Hey friends, it's Jennifer. I hope you guys are doing well. I'm back today with another mixed media page. I'm just flipping through my book here to get to the page we're going to do. And you can see here that these already have something on them. I had gotten some new alcohol inks and was testing them out there on these pages. So it's nothing fancy. I just like to do that sometimes. So we're going to work on this page right here. Even though it's got alcohol ink on it, we're going to still work on that page. So the first thing that I'm going to do is take this blue-gray paint and I'm just going to paint some onto the page. I'm not doing anything crazy. I've already got some color down on the page from the ink. And so now I'm just sort of putting down a cohesive color all over the page. And I'm going to dry it with my heat gun. You don't have to do that, but I choose to do that. Now I've got some bubble wrap that I got in the mail. I'm just going to take some white acrylic gesso and paint onto the bubble wrap, just painting it on there, not really thick or heavy, and I'm just going to use it and apply it to my paper and just pull it off. Now I'm going to take a darker blue color and I'm just going to do the same thing as I did before. I'm just going to take some paint on my paintbrush and just put it in strategic places on the page. I'm kind of wanting a darker top. At this point I really don't have anything in mind, just that I want a darker top, a darker blue top than the bottom, and so that's what I did. And now I'm going to take the second ply of a napkin. I always keep the white ply of the second napkin, especially if it's got a print on it, because I use it in a lot of projects because it will, it's just something to give it texture, and it's also, you can still see through it. So that's what I've done here, is just used some of the second ply of a napkin. I'm just using school glue and gluing it down onto my project and going over it with my paintbrush just to make sure that it's stuck down. And I'm going to dry that with my heat gun. Now I'm going to go back and take my charcoal pencil and I'm just going to outline some of those bubbles. You can see in this one particular spot that the paint came up, which is fine. It shows the alcohol ink underneath, and so I'm fine with that. So I just kind of helped to pick that off a little bit. But after that, you can see I'm just going through there and darkening up that bubble wrap gesso pieces that I put on there. I'm going to take this yellow acrylic paint and I'm going to do the same thing that I did previously on the end of my paintbrush, except I'm just going to paint around the edges of the paper. I just felt like it needed a little something to help it stand off the page, and so that's what I'm doing here. And I'm going to dry it with my heat gun. Now at this point I realized that I think I want to do a flower on here, but I want it to be kind of a textured flower, or something that I can use elements with. And so I have some yellow felt here, and I'm just taking a circle and I put down over top of the felt, and I'm just roughly going around that circle just to make that shape with my scissors. And I'm going to ink around this circle. Not that it really matters, but in my mind I always think if I ink something it will make it stand out better, so that's what I did with this circle. And my intent is to use this circle as the center of the flower, so I'm just gluing it down here. Now I've got some yarn, some pink sort of mauve colored yarn, and I'm not really thinking about it. I just took my glue here and just started in the center and went around in a circle to make a flower. And my thought was to go in with the yarn and lay it down in the glue section and kind of glue it down there. And so I struggled at first, but then once I got it going, it went pretty good. And so now you can see that I'm just laying this yarn down in the glue in the pattern in which I laid it down in. And I have these, they're like strings, pink strings. They came off of a piece of ribbon that I had gotten in a trim package. And when I cut the end, the whole thing, it was braided, and it unbraided into these strings. And so they're very shiny and very thin, and so I thought that I would take what's left over and try to glue them into the folds of the flower. But this was not working with regular school glue because it wasn't drying quick enough. So I had just put a little bit of glue on there. So now I'm going back and doing more glue, and then I'm just sort of wrapping these strings together, trying to get them to stay sort of together and put them into the folds or the curves of the flower, and that worked pretty good. I did struggle with that. So then I decided I was going to use my hot glue gun instead because that glue dries quicker. And so that's what I did from here on out, was to use the hot glue on it. And it worked a lot better. And I'm just going to go back and add some more of those threads in, or the string in there, just to make it look fuller. And here it is again. And now I'm just going to take like a green colored yarn that I have, and I'm just going to take a piece and twist it to make the stem. And again, I'm going to use my hot glue gun here just to fix it to the top there. And now I'm just going to use the hot glue to adhere the stem piece that is the yarn down onto the page. And so now I've decided I need a leaf, so I'm just going to use one of the strings and just back it back up the stem and glue it down in a leaf shape there. And now I'm going to take that other piece of string that I trimmed off from the bottom, and I'm just going to separate the pieces that hold the cord of yarn together into smaller pieces. And I'm just going to use this inside of the yellow piece just to kind of make it look like it's part of the middle of the flower. And I'm just going to use my hot glue gun to make that work. Now I've got a piece of scrap fabric here that I've just frayed the ends on, and I'm going to put it down right here next to the flower. I think it goes good with the page. Now I've got some other pieces of scrap yarn. They're just different colors, different sizes, and I'm just going to take them and glue them down. I guess kind of in my mind I was thinking it would like represent the grass, but they're not grass colors, so it was a good way for me to use up the scrap yarn, so that's what I'm doing here. And so now I've gotten a piece of paper that sort of matches the flower at the top, and I'm just tearing the edges on it because this is the paper that I'm going to use to put the date, the month, and the year of when this was done. And I'm just going to ink around the edges. And I usually use an alphabet stamp, but I'm just going to write February 2025 on here with my pen. And so that's what I've done. And now you can see I'm just trying to figure out where I'm going to put it. And I've decided on a spot, so I'm just going to glue it down with some regular glue. Just spread that glue out with my finger and pop it down on that page. And then here's my heart. I'm putting a heart on everything that I make this year to remind me to love myself and to love others better, and my work especially. And so here's me just grabbing up a heart that I have, and I'm just placing it down onto the page. And here is the completed page. I hope this gave you guys some inspiration to use some things that you have at your house to make some mixed media. It's all about what you want to do, and I love how this page turned out, and I hope that you want to do your own mixed media pages. I'll see you guys the next time. Thanks for watching.